Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us on day 2 of GitHub Constellation. I hope you enjoyed yesterday's sessions and feel refreshed for another day. This is our 3rd annual event in India, making 2 years of GitHub's operations in India. The team and community have grown so much. 8 million developers on GitHub in India. Just wow. And the best part is that it has brought us closer to all of you, to the terrific community you've built. In the last year, you've made over 200 million contributions to open source software projects, and also created over 1 million new open source repos. The collective brainpower and collaboration is inspiring. It's pushing the limits of what we've been able to do so far. Thousands of other developers around the world depend and build on the code you've created in India. We've seen so many open source projects that focus on areas that are important to this community. Open source projects in India are improving commerce, communication, business growth, education, which is one of my favorites, travel, and so much more. Many of these projects, as you can see, are participating in Constellation this week. Be sure to check out sessions later today and this week. Check out their websites, tell your friends about them, play a little bit. One example that I want to tell you about is Karate. Karate is an open source API and UI test automation framework with about 6,000 GitHub stars. It's a successful project used by dozens of Fortune 500 companies. It's a core part of the build pipelines of many enterprises. In 2021, the creator of the framework, Peter Thomas, received a GitHub India open source grant. Receiving the grant enabled Peter to pursue growing this project full-time. He left the corporate world and set up Karate Lab. Karate Lab was also later accepted by Y Combinator, a startup incubator. This was a dream realized, which is what the GitHub open source grants were designed for. Another program that we have is GitHub Sponsors, and that allows people and organizations to contribute to open source software projects directly. Open source has been growing globally in India, and 10 million software projects from around the world depend on the packages that all of you have created in India. So 10 million other projects are depending on the work that you've done. That's amazing. Anyone around the world can show support for those projects that they depend on. You can financially support open source through GitHub Sponsors. Go to GitHub to sign up and to become a sponsor maintainer for your project, or to donate to your favorite open source projects, like Karate. And it's not only the open source software community that depends on these open projects, but many of the largest and most critical organizations on the planet do too. They rely on projects on GitHub to be fast, efficient, reliable, and secure. These companies are using open source software and contributing back to it. In fact, 36% of enterprises contributed to open source software projects in this last year. Many of you work for those enterprises, and you're looking to GitHub to help make software development easy for your company. We are excited to work with you as your partner as you help your company be part of this world of open source innovation. At GitHub, we know we need to continue to make it easier and safer for enterprises to consume and contribute back to open source code. The past year has been a reminder to all of us of the critical importance of security in open source projects. Writing secure code is just too hard today, but we're committed to making software development more secure through the tools we give developers and enterprises. We've built the best security resources and tooling for enterprises, and we're giving them away for free to open source software projects. These tools will help people update their dependencies and find and address security vulnerabilities. And when you resolve issues, we want to make it easier for you to notify the teams that depend on your code. That way they can update to the latest version of your software. As Thomas said yesterday, software development is a collective effort, and we all need to work together to write secure code. That way we can focus on solving problems and building better software. In addition to security, we're making it easier to find and discover projects with new and improved project lists. There's new functionality to star and manage your favorite repos. You can mark your favorites, organize by themes, and we've actually created a list of the projects made in India. Check it out. Speaking of innovation and growth, we believe it is just as important to support the next generation of developers as it is to support current ones. The student population in India is incredible in its size and depth. We are super lucky to partner with some awesome universities and professors across the country. In the past year, we nearly doubled the number of students using GitHub to develop software. We now have more than 350 higher education institutions in India using GitHub's educational program, supported by more than 80 campus experts, students focused on bringing other students into the world of open source. With the campus program, students across many of India's higher education institutions have access to GitHub's full product. And as India has always known, the student ecosystem is incredibly important to the continued growth and pace of innovation. The more we can do to equip the developers, innovators, and solution builders of tomorrow, the brighter our future will look. The GitHub Student Developer Pack now offers over 15 million rupees worth of free software and services to student developers. And we've designed specialized paths to make it even easier for students to get started. If you're a student, teacher, or administrator, join GitHub Education. We have a number of resources and tooling that are designed specifically for you. If you're not a student or teacher, please tell the students and teachers in your life to sign up. We want to do everything we can to support your continued growth. We expect and look forward to having 10 million developers in India on GitHub by 2023. You can sign up for GitHub Education if you're a student, teacher, or administrator with custom paths that meet you where you are. And finally, it's only together that we can secure the open source supply chain and build the future of software. Thank you for joining us today, and I hope to see you all in person next year, if not sooner. But for sure, I'll see you online on GitHub. I look forward to seeing what you're doing there.